Today, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to write your very first blog post with me. No overthinking allowed. And then next, I'm going to teach you how to get people to actually read it. Most people never hit publish because they're trying to write the perfect post. But today, we're not doing that. I want messy, imperfect, and I want published. Why? Because perfection is the enemy of done. Done is better than perfect. You can always come back. You can improve your blog post and update it. You can't improve something that you haven't written or actually published and put out there. You don't even know if people are reading it, if anyone cares, if there's anything to update or even be worried about yet. If you're new around here, welcome to day 4 of my Get Started Blogging Challenge, where I'm showing you in 1 week by the end of these videos how to set up a real blog and have your first post published. Actually, after today, we'll have your first post published. Even if you're starting at 0, don't you worry. We all had to start somewhere, but if you're starting with this video, you might want to check out the ones that I made before this, below this video. All those videos, in case you missed them, are in the description below, as well as on my website, borntoblogclub.com, and I've put a entire checklist you can download to make sure that you're going along with all these assignments and checking them off. In a prior video, I showed you how to actually set up your website and your blog. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to write your very first blog post. Let's dive into actually writing your very first blog post and what goes into that. So I want you to open up a tab in your computer and follow along with me. I'm using GoDaddy and WordPress, their managed WordPress hosting. That's how I build my websites, host my websites, publish my blog posts. There's a link to all that below this video so you can go and set that up. Okay, so before we dive into actually writing your first blog post, I know you're probably thinking, Brandy, what do I actually write about? Well, don't you worry. I've got a whole list of ideas for you over at the Born to Blog Club in a blog post. You can get all kinds of ideas for what to write about. If it's your first blog, I would highly suggest something like your introduction or your story, something that would later probably turn into an About Me page. It could be a list of goals, frequently asked questions, resource roundup, tips and advice, behind the scenes, inspiration and motivation, as well as just your welcome message. So I've got a whole blog post about this, again, over at the Born to Blog Club, where you can deep dive into all of these ideas and learn more about them. I've even got a blog post about how to write your very first blog post. You can go over to the Born to Blog Club and read up on all this. I'll put a link in the description below this video. You can follow along with that in the checklist I told you about. But there are a lot of steps to writing your first blog post, and we're not going to dive into all of this and get you overwhelmed in this video. I'm going to simply show you how to get your blog post published out there into the world and how to do it step by step. And then tomorrow in the next video, I'm going to show you the SEO part of it and how to get people to actually find you and read your blog post. Let's head over to Johnny's website, our cat. If Johnny wanted to write a blog post, which I showed you the back end of this website, not this one, but the one that we built in yesterday's video. This is the back end of your WordPress dashboard. Once you have your website set up, you can go back here and you can go to either new and post. That's on the top, or you can go over to your little sidebar. This is your menus, and you can go to see, these are all your posts that'll be under here. You can add posts, you can set up categories, tags, and this is all stuff that you're going to do later. We don't want to do that right now. If you were going to do a new post in here, you could also go up here to add posts, but this shows you all your blog posts, and you can go to your published blog post, or you can go to your draft blog post, but this is the back end of your posts. And when I say post, I just want to make sure that you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you were on the front end of your website and you were on your blog, then you're going to see your blog post. And so Johnny has a blog post about the never-ending list of things he likes to chew. He's also got all the cat holidays that he posted about. And then he has all his essentials and must-haves. And he also made an announcement about the fact that he started his first kitty cat YouTube channel. And his very first post was actually about meeting him, Johnny, the cat dog. And so he wrote a blog post just about his introduction and about him. And so you can go and check out Johnny's blog, Catitude Chaos, and learn more about him. But his blog is what he's talking about. So I put these on the homepage too. If you go to his homepage, I have his little blog post right here, and then you can go read more. But let's say that he wants to write a new blog post. He can go hit new post, or again, if he was on the back end of his website, he could go to post, add post, or add post back here. Let's say he's got his new blog post ready to go. He wants to write a blog post. What is he going to want to write about? Let's think. I told you all the ideas that he could come up with. I always think of something like cat quotes. So let's just say he wants to write a blog post about kitty cat quotes. My favorite cat quotes. So this is his title, and they call this like your H1 header, and there's all kinds of other little details that we're going to get into later on, later videos, but I just want you to understand the basics of writing a blog post step by step, okay? The first thing, you got to have a title for it, and this could be something that you're going to change later on, but you just want to, I always put a title in here, and I like to save my draft. I'll go in here, and then the next thing that I might want to do is add some headings, or I might say something like, this is a list of all my favorite kitty cat quotes. And I hit my little tab down, return, enter button, and then here I can start adding in a space if I want to put a spacer. So I just hit the little, it says type the slash button to choose a block, and it'll let you choose a block that way. Or if you get your cursor around, it'll give you a little add tab, and you can add in headings and different things, or you could hit browse all. Another way that you can get to that is up here with this little plus button. It'll say block inserter, and then that's going to give you the same little blocks that this will. So I might want to put a space in here just to have some space, and I can decide how big or wide I want the space to be. Say that I'm going to put my favorite cat quotes in here, and I'm going to get a list of all my favorite cat quotes. We're just going to say funny cat quotes, cute cat quotes, other cat quotes. I would want these to actually be the little headers. Instead of these being paragraphs, I'm going to make these headings. And I don't want them to be H1 headings. I want them to be H2. And that's where I would change this. So the H1 heading is more of like your header up here. And then you're going to have H2s and H3s and H4s. And that's another video. Now you've got your headers. I like to put a little bit more formatting in here. So you've got funny cat quotes. And then you can go down here and you can say quote. It actually will just tab over for me. So quote 1, quote 2, quote 3. And it made a list for me. So the way that I did that is I just hit the stash button, and then I hit the space tab, and it made that for me. Also, if I wanted to make a list, I could just highlight the words, do it this way, and I could say list. And so I can also move those up and down, and I can copy if I just want to copy those. I could copy the whole thing and hit duplicate, or I can tab down and see them, and then I can copy them that way. I can copy, duplicate. Like I said copy, but I would copy is what I would do. I'd hit copy and then paste. And then if you know how to use the tabs on your keyboard, the command keys, you can do that too. That's usually what I do, but I'm trying to show you with your mouse. But you need to learn shorthand and short keys so that you can understand this more. So now I've got my list of cat quotes that I want to put out there. Let's say you need some ideas. I always love to go to Pinterest for ideas and get all the different various ideas. So let's say that you want to look up cat quotes. You could go over here and just say cat quotes. And then you'll actually see, if you looked in here, I go to all pins, not my pins, but you could see cat quotes funny, cat quotes love, cat quotes funny humor. And you can see all the different ones that they're showing on Pinterest. You can also go to ChatGPT and ask for cat quotes or blog post ideas, or to help you write your blog posts. cat quotes. Here are some great cat quotes from Funny to Thoughtful. And then it gave me a whole list of cat quotes that I could put in my blog post. So even if you got some cat quotes from over here, which if you're going to do this, you need to format this a little bit different. But let's just say you want to do some cat quotes. You could say these funny and cute and thoughtful cat quotes. So if you went in here, you could copy this and add these in if you wanted to just paste these in here. And so the way that I do that is I right click on my mouse and I'll hit paste. You have to know basic functions of how to use your computer. I could go in here and then I'd want to make these titles, and that would be like a H2. And so this is exactly how I would create a blog post, especially even if I didn't know about the topic or whatever I was going to do. But if you're going to go to something like ChatGPT or get quotes and ideas, all I'm doing is just making these headings in here. So let's just say then I'm like, okay, well, I want to, go down here and put my spacer in here. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put my spacers. And sometimes I'll even put like lines in here to make it look a little cuter. And all I'm doing is just looking for the separator. And then it can be default, it can be wide lines. Sometimes I'll put dots in there. It just depends. And then say that you want to make this look a little bit better. I'm going to take this part out that I was making. So all I'm doing is highlighting this, and I can either hit the delete key or I can go in here and just hit delete. So now I've got these little cat quotes. I'm going to clean up the spacing. And then this is, my introduction up here, just so you know. I may not say introduction, and if you wonder what that was that just corrected that for me, it's Grammarly. So I know somebody's going to ask me that, but it's just a little plugin that I put on my dashboard and sign into. I have that on the Born to Blog Club with all the plugins that I love to use on my websites and install. You can check in the description below this video. I'll put a link to that. This would be, say, your introduction, but you might not say it's your introduction. But that's your introduction. Then you got your funny cat quotes. And then another thing I like to do, and this is getting a little bit more advanced, but you're welcome. I will do a table of contents. So I'll look to see if this theme has one. It does look like WordPress has a basic table of contents. And so what this does is it pulls all the headings that's in the blog post itself, and it just will look cute. And so if you save this, you can see what it'll look like over on this other page. So you can say, okay, well, I want to see what my blog post looks like right now. Then you go over to generate the preview, and it'll take just a second, and then it's going to come up here and you can see, oh, okay, well, this is what it's going to look like. But, maybe I want to put some space right here. I noticed that. And I can see this is all spaced out nice. I've got all my little spacings in here, but probably need a conclusion or whatever. But this is giving you an idea of, okay, well, this is good, but maybe we should add something else in here. So then I would go over and maybe add an image in here. But first, I want to add a little space to this. And so let's say we want to add an image. I'm going to put an extra little spacer in there. But I'm going to go to either I can, again, add an image from here and look up image. And just select image. And then you can upload an image, go to your media library or import from a URL. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to say add image. I'm going to open my media library. And I don't have any images right now that, actually I do. I have cat images. So say we want to put, Johnny's face in here, which I would probably want to, choose something else. So I could put Johnny in here if I wanted and add him, which I would want to add probably something like quotes. And let's say that I did the same thing. And I'm going to go back in here. Maybe I don't have any images yet, but I want to go to stock photos, and I could say, okay, let me go look up a cat animal shelter. Let's see, there's a cat. Okay, so let's say that we want to choose this cat and put this cat in our blog post. So we can add this cat in here. And then Same thing. So you can add your little images in here. This is like my introduction, and then this is like my table of contents, which this table of contents is not essential. It's just something that I like to put in sometimes. And it depends on the blog post. But this is my funny, cute, and that, again, this is pulling all of these headings. And if you change the heading, say that you made this heading an H3 header, if you go back up here, what you'll see is that it changed these and it moved it over. So an H3 is going to move the heading over. And the more that you blog, the more that you'll start to see that. So let's just change that back. If I want to undo something, I'll hit undo. And again, if you want to save your changes, I like to hit save draft. Once you get this done, you don't want to just keep refreshing your blog all the time. I mean, you do want to refresh your blog, but you don't want to just keep hitting republish. You don't want to do that. Again, I have plugins that help with all of that down below this video. Another thing that we're probably going to want to put in here, now that we've added our images, a conclusion. However you structure your blog posts, you might want to give them a little final thought. I'll say final thoughts, or you can say conclusion. Again, I would make this a little header. I have a little something that I kind of keep and reuse. And if I go over to my blog itself on the homepage and go to like one of my other little blogs that I made, let's just see if I added it to the bottom of this. Here I put, don't miss a thing. Follow at Catitude Chaos via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. Also, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, and most importantly, sign up to receive our email newsletter. Put that in the blog post, and that's more of a don't miss a thing. It's not necessarily something I would do the conclusion. You have to think, if you were going to write a real essay or something really structured, I'm showing you that, yeah, you would have an introduction, and then you would have your cat quotes and your images to make it more fun, and then you would go down and say, if you enjoyed these, leave a comment below with your favorite. And then I say, don't miss a thing. So obviously you're going to want to write more than just this. But once you kind of get this, then you'll save your draft, and you can go over and you can look at what your blog post is going to look like once your draft is actually saved. You're going to want to see the updated version of the changes that you made before you actually publish this post. So you would go in here and you'd say, okay, my favorite cat quotes, and you can see your table of contents, and then our introduction is kind of small, but this is our introduction, and then final thoughts and conclusion, don't miss a thing. And actually, if you want to get really wild, go over to ChatGPT and say, write me an introduction for this as a blog and a conclusion. I didn't even spell that right, but they'll figure it out. In here, they're writing an introduction for me, and I wouldn't just literally copy and paste this. I would read it. I don't even know what it says, but let's just say that we want to use it as our introduction. We'll go over here and we'll just put this in here as our introduction. Same thing with this conclusion, and we're just going to go over here and put this down here as our final thoughts. And I don't think they probably put that in here, so I want people to leave a comment and have activity on my blog post. And again, I'll save this draft. And then there's so much more that you can do with your blog post, and I'm going to show you in an upcoming video tomorrow, like how to do SEO. I made a list of them. Again, there's more to it on my blog, that my blog post that I wrote about how to write a blog post on theborn2blogclub.com. You can read, but you want to optimize this for SEO and all kinds of other little things. This blog, when you set it up, at least with GoDaddy and WordPress, has a focus key phrase that you can put in here, and your titles and meta description. Later on, that will make more sense. It's not even important right now, at least for getting this done, because I don't want you to look at all the other options and think, oh, there's so many other things to choose from. Over here, you're going to see that you can add a featured image to your blog post. And if you're looking for images for your blog, I've got a blog post about that too, but you can look at places like Pexels is one. You can go in here and you can find all kinds of photos and videos and all kinds of other stuff to use on your blog, and some of it requires an attribution and some doesn't. And there's a lot of free ones, and then there's other websites and some of these that require licenses. Pixabay. You can go in here and get all kinds of free images. And then another place that I love to go, Canva. This is where I would get a blog post featured image and put one together. So I call it like your blog thumbnail. So I just search for blog post featured image, and Canva has a bunch of them. And there's certain sizes and dimensions and all of that, but just worry about posting your blog. So this one I can customize. I can put in here. I might just put this fashion one because it looks like I can customize it pretty easy. So you can see I'm just clicking into here. I'm going to go in here and say cat quotes. And then I'm actually going to need to change this back one to cat quotes. This is just creating a little thumbnail in Canva. And I could change this little image in here and put a different image in. I could go over here and say cats and just try to find a cat, okay? And put the cat in here. And you can put your website in here and all the other fun stuff. So customize this. So you can make this little thumbnail over here in Canva, and then you can download that and put this on your blog. So that's what I would do. I would just download this and hit download, and then I would go over here, and if I wanted to upload this cute little image that I got, I would totally change a bunch of things about it before I uploaded it, and that has to do with SEO and what we're going to talk about in the next video. But for this purpose, we're going to go back over to our blog post, and right now there's no image up here, as you can tell, and that is going to show up over here on the blog itself. And so we're going to go in here. We want to make sure that we upload the image that we just created. So we just go over here and hit upload files. And then once it's uploaded, we're going to hit set featured image, and you're going to see the little image over on the side. And then if you hit save draft, once that's done, you can view your preview, how it's going to look on tablet, mobile. But I just want to preview this, and you can always go back and change this. And once my blog posts and things are live, I like to go look at them on my phone and other places so that I can tell what it looks like and if I need to change anything, because you can always go back and update your blog posts, which is the beauty of blogging and not vlogging and making YouTube videos, because I can't change this video, but I can go back and change my blog post. So now I can see my little headers up there, and I've got all my images in here. So I'm going to go back over to my blog post, and I'm just going to want to publish it. So now we're going to hit publish. So I'm going to hit publish my blog post. We're going to publish this and see what it looks like on the blog itself. So we're going to go over to Johnny's blog. We're going to refresh his blog, and we're going to see what his new blog post looks like. Your first post is not for traffic, it's for momentum. So I don't want you to think, oh, this is not perfect, or there's so many things I could have added, or those images aren't cute. You need to post first and then go look at it and say, okay, I need to tweak this, or something doesn't look right. And you can't do that if you haven't hit publish yet. Hardest part for most people is hitting publish. Yes, there's coming up with ideas and figuring out how to get traffic to your blog, but I've shown you in the last video how to set up your blog and your website. This video is actually how to write the blog post and hit publish on your very first post, no matter how good or bad it is. Now we have something to actually go back and look at and say, what could I change about this? Today's action for you is to publish your very first blog post, even if it's short, messy, janky, not perfect, because perfection is the enemy of done, and you should have already published it. But if you haven't, then rewind this video, watch it again, and if you missed any of the prior episodes, I've put a whole playlist together that you can check out. If it's not right here, it's in the description below this video. This is day 4 of my 7-day Get Started Blogging Challenge, where I'm teaching you how to start a blog and publish your very first blog post live in 1 week in these 7 videos. And so if you missed any of those, or the checklist that I talked about that walks you through everything and you can check it all off, you can download that, get all that in the description below this video or on borntoblogclub.com. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to show you how to get people to read your blog, because they're going to be able to find your blog on the internet, on Google, through SEO, optimizing your blog posts, this whole list of things I told you, that there's more to your blog post than what we just did. The best way to keep up with all that is obviously the description below this video, but like this video, subscribe to my channel, and tap that little bell icon so you'll be notified of each and every video that I post in this series and from here on out after this video is over. If we haven't officially met, I'm Blogging Brandy. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.